Welcome to the Horse Talk Show
You never heard of a talking horse?
with your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit with the bit, Louisa Barton! Yeah, baby!
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. And on a quick note about Larson's, Customer Appreciation Day is coming up, so don't miss it. Gigi doesn't know yet, but we're going to be there with a camera getting some pictures of customers being appreciated. That's Friday, December 4th and Saturday, December 5th, 8 to 5 on Friday and 8 to noon on Saturday. And as you can see, if you're watching us on Facebook, lots of great sales on their hay, and their hay certainly is the finest. I was actually going to tell Mary, who by the way is guest co-hosting with me here, that her pony should be eating the meadow. Unbelievable. I let my fat little Minnie have that, and he can have it, and he doesn't get too fat. And the quality is incredible. I'm much happier than feeding Coastal. So I'm very excited to have top equestrian Mary Phelps here with me, guest co-hosting today. She also is horsesdaily.com. She's also a rep for Markel Insurance for horses. And she does an incredible job of all of it. And I know she doesn't mind me telling you that she's 70, and I could only hope to look like Mary when I'm 70. So I'm thrilled to have you here, Mary. And she brought the ponies along because they do fit in the studio in their Briar form. It's not quite as nice as the real thing, but it's certainly exceptional to have them and to be a Briar, such a huge honor. And she actually has a third pony at her farm, a Welsh pony, Bouncer, who is also a Briar and a champion. So that's a lot of claims to fame. It makes me feel little. But it's lovely to have Mary with us. We send our love and prayers to Paulette, my co-host, who is currently resting at home. I know you haven't seen her for about a month. She's unfortunately had COVID and is hopefully getting better, and we miss you, Paulette. I want to say happy Thanksgiving this week to everybody that's tuning in, and what a wonderful holiday. I got an email today to say, how do you like our holiday that you have to borrow, gobble, gobble? And I laughed and said, I love it because we can eat and drink and be merry. But one of the things that December 8th is my final deal with USCIS to become an American citizen. So fairly soon it'll be my holiday as well. And funnily enough, in my sister's pub in England, they make Thanksgiving dinner because they celebrate it. So it's, it's an excuse to eat and drink. So I hope you're enjoying yourselves and your family and all staying safe. Starting off with some news in this segment. As you know, the Ocala Cup is coming up. I'm very excited about that. Over 300 Pasafinos signed up to come from all over the world for the Ocala Cup to the Livestock Pavilion. So we're really, really excited. As of last week, there were 320 something signed up, I believe. They're actually going to have a little area in the back that you can actually go and learn to ride a Pasafino, which is exciting. I think they're doing that on the Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday should be beautiful competition, Sunday being the really big day when you'll see people awarded with beautiful flowers and gorgeous trophies. And Pasafinos are really neat to watch, really incredible to listen to on the board. That'll be an incredible event to be at. So much going on all on the same weekend. Don't forget, we've got the Stirrups and Strides raffle going on right now, kind of in lieu of their normal fundraiser events. So please try and get involved in that. The grand prize is $5,000. The tickets are $100 each. It's a fundraiser for them. Prayers and thoughts to Betty and her family, who are still recovering from losing her husband a couple of weeks ago. And I'm not sure that you ever recover from that, but hanging on to the memories, and certainly trying to keep Stirrups and Strides going, which is such a wonderful therapeutic riding school for children, adults, veterans. They do it all. So help support them where you can. I think those are all my mentions. Oh no, I mustn't forget the Florida Transformation Expo for thoroughbreds, going to be at the Florida Horse Park. Another absolutely brilliant event the following weekend. I absolutely love to see OTTBs, off the track thoroughbreds, taken into a variety of different sports and accomplishing So versatile, so beautiful, so incredible to watch. And the Florida Horse Park, such a beautiful venue. Before I forget to mention, we're going to have Jason Reynolds from the Florida Horse Park on the show later on. He's in the studio audience right now. So we have to say the Florida Horse Park's good, right? But it is. It's absolutely beautiful. You want to talk about a gorgeous venue. The setting's incredible. Mary, you know. Wow.
500 acres. And just, and I've recently been appointed to the board. So I'm on
Makes
the
it even better.
board of the Florida Horse Park. Yeah. And we've hit the ground running.
Or driving.
Yeah, or driving, exactly. Working on, there is a driving course there. And when you go there, I was there when there was a dressage show. There was a driven dressage going on. There was polo going on. There was a Western pleasure show happening.
It's amazing, isn't it?
At the same time.
I know. It's like you've only got to go one stop and you can go see it all. It's amazing.
And it's so spread out and open, and
Fresh
every
air,
weekend
beautiful weather.
is, and safe, because everyone is able to stay outside and be socially distanced. So we're really, really lucky to have the Florida Horse Park in our backyard.
We are indeed. So definitely make sure you support the Run for the Ribbons and the Florida Thoroughbred Transformation Expo. I love those. I believe this one is going to be as big as the Kentucky one. Remember, the Kentucky one's been around for a lot longer, but I see this one day being that kind of size expo. And I think that the fact that they take the off-the-track thoroughbreds and really show people what you can accomplish with one is amazing. I'm a big fan of thoroughbreds, and I love the off-the-track thoroughbreds. It's probably a good thing I don't have enough time to have a lot of them, or I'd have a lot of them.
And we have a lot of opportunities here in Ocala for acquiring thoroughbreds.
We do. Wonderful ones.
It's very easy to find them. I'm scrolling through social media. I try to share when I see ones, and they're beautiful.
They're lovely.
So
they're incredible animals.
Yeah, it's
and you can teach them anything.
So it's a wonderful program, and I've seen it grow a lot, and it has a lot of energy behind it.
It does. Laureen does a phenomenal job, and we love supporting her. Friends of Old Friends is coming back up soon with their hats off to the horses. Jumping up to Kentucky there just for a minute. The Road to the Derby hat auction for retired racehorses at Old Friends will start up on the path to hopefully a normal Derby in 2021. So be watching out for that. We love supporting that. Every year we support it and help to promote it as they auction off the hats, and they're incredibly beautiful hats. And all the money goes to the Old Friends in Kentucky. I don't know if you visited it, but if you haven't, you should. It's amazing. All the horses, whether they're famous or not, get treated the same and get an absolutely wonderful life. And Michael Blowen feeds them carrots quite often. So they're all very happy to be retired there. So we love supporting that. So we want to keep spreading the word. And they've raised actually a grand total of over $40,000 so far, 100% donated from that. So we always cover that, hats off, and share those hats with you. And when they start popping up on social media, you'll see them on the show as well. Online voting is open for the 11th annual winner of the Secretariat Vox Populi Horse of 2020, created by Secretariat's late owner, Penny Chenery, who we interviewed on this show. The Vox Populi, or Voice of the People, means you have to choose your favorite racehorse of this year. Comment below on the broadcast who you like and why. We got a lot to choose from. Amazing girls like Monomoy Girl and Swiss Skydiver, who of course outran Authentic in the Preakness. Authentic himself, an amazing horse. Tis the Law, and many, many more. So check out those horses and decide who you like the best, and comment below on our Facebook broadcast as to why you chose that horse. Personally, I'm a bit of a fan of Authentic, but I did meet him. We're going to wrap up this segment. Coming back in just a few minutes, we're going to have Dr. Kayot from Peterson and Smith talking about blister beetle and why you don't like them. Stay with us. Mary and I will be back in a few minutes.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton from the Horse Talk Show, and we're here on location at Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital in the horse capital of the world, Ocala, Marion County, Florida. And we have Dr. Adam Kayott here, and we're going to chat about something that's come up recently in the news. Sadly, in Wisconsin, some horses died from blister beetle, and some others were actually left very, very ill. It was a very sad situation. I'm going to talk a little bit to Dr. Kayott about the blister beetle, and having done some research and studied up a little on this, apparently one of the biggest issues is when hay is cut and baled at the same time rather than left to dry, and the blister beetles get stuck in the crimper, and it's hard for them to get out, and they can be very, very harmful to horses. So I'm going to talk to Dr. Kayott a little bit about that. Dr. Kayott, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Lovely to have you back with us. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the blister beetle.
Well, luckily, I don't have a lot of experience with the blister beetle, but the blister beetle is it's a nasty little thing. It's very toxic to horses. Even a ingestion of a little bit of the body of the beetle can be can make a horse very sick. So. The thing that makes the horse the sickest is the poison, which is called cantharidin, and it shows up as it causes ulcerations, typically of the mucosa of the mouth, can cause ulcerations of the digestive tract, and depending on how much the horse ingests, that kind of determines the severity of the problem. It can be treated if it's if it's diagnosed early enough, and if it is a lower load. So if they didn't ingest as much, and there's no parameter. Well, if they ingest just this part, it just kind of depends on the horse, So supportive care typically is what you give. Fluids, they can have some electrolyte abnormalities because they're losing fluid through these ulcerations and that sort of thing, and they're losing electrolytes, so they need to be supported that way. You can try like activated charcoal and things to minimize the toxin. Activated charcoal, mineral oil, any of those things that can bind to whatever toxins in the digestive system so that it doesn't go systemically. It's tough because it is in your hay, and needle in a haystack, right? Like, and they're small little bugs. It's not like they're just going to jump out at you, or they're going to be easily seen, especially if you're feeding in the morning and you're in a hurry and you throw, 2 flakes of hay to each horse. You're not looking for blister beetles, So, it can be kind of scary because the symptoms are relatively quickly occurring, anywhere from 3 to 24 hours. So, you can start seeing some of these issues, fever and ulcerations and that sort of thing. To try to avoid it, they're most commonly found in the Midwest, Western states like Oklahoma, Kansas. They're most active in the summertime, like August, those months, July, August. So when if you're obviously concerned about that, you can find out where the hay came from. You can find out when it was cut. Typically, they tend to occur in, your later cuttings. So if you get like first cutting is less likely to have the beetle in it than a later cutting because of their life cycle and how they progress through the summer months. So, you just be aware of that thing. Like I said, I have never personally seen it, knock on wood, and I hope I don't see it. The interesting thing about that is that You remember a few years ago we were having the creeping indigo concern, right? The creeping indigo, right? So this was this weed that grows, and they can have a lot of the same symptoms actually with the mouth ulcerations and hypersalivation that happens with the creeping indigo. So I guess those are two different things to consider if you see this sort of thing. Creeping indigo is kind of, nobody talks about it anymore. It was kind of like hot, and everybody was worried to death about it because, obviously if you get these horses that pass because of it, it's a hot button topic, but nobody talks about it anymore. And I'm just kind of researching over this blister beetle, and I come across this, and I started thinking, well, I remember this creeping indigo thing we had, and I did see a horse that got into it a few years ago, and so it was very similar. So be careful where just be aware of where you get your hay. Try to be as informed as you can be on what cutting it is, what state it came from, those sorts of things. And if you're worried, just try to, they kind of look like like a firefly almost, like a lightning bug kind of looking thing.
Yeah, they do. And they're actually only about 1 or 2 centimeters in size. So if, like me, you're feeding sort of early in the morning in the dark, or if you're feeding it gets so dark now at 5:30 when you get home, if your hay is outdoors and it's not in a lit area, it's very, very difficult. It would be very hard to see a 1 or 2 centimeter bug in your hay. But one of the things I think I would say is buy from a quality location. Like you said, ask a lot of questions. Do you know if this hay was cut and baled immediately? Because apparently that's when they can't escape. If it was actually cut left and then baled later, that gives them a chance to run away. And I don't know that this would necessarily help, but I always shake my hay flake out completely for the horses before I leave it for them. And I would imagine if they're running around in there and you shook it out, that would alarm them somewhat, and perhaps they would take off. And so I'm just always one to shake it out and make sure it looks okay. And I would think that would help. Now, I know the clinical signs you talked about, like mouth sores. I know there can be some lethargy. I read that they can sink their whole mouth in the water trough to try and ease the discomfort of the mouth sores. Anything distinctive that you can look for that would maybe tell it from poisoning from something like a creeping indigo? And are there any really significant tests that you can do to actually prove that's what it is to treat it?
Well, you can test for that, the toxin, cantharidin. You have to, I believe it's in the fecal material. You can test for it in the fecal material. Toxemia in horses when they ingest something toxic is clinically speaking is pretty similar no matter what they ingest. You get this ulceration, you get possible fever, you could get diarrhea, you could get blood in the stool, any of these things that irritate the lining of the bowel, so you can test for that poison to see if it is that, but typically it takes a while for them to get the results back, and your horse is either probably going to be past or better by the time you really get the answer. Either way, you treat the horse the same. You just try to support the horse as best you can, and hope that they didn't ingest a large quantity of it. And I think your idea of shaking the hay out, and sure, any chance that the little boogers could fall on the ground, is better. So, yeah.
Well, we got to wrap this segment up. A lot of information. Certainly, as I said, make sure you're getting your hay from a very reputable source. Personally, I buy my hay from Larson's in Seminole. Great quality hay, but I know there's good quality places out there you can get your hay. But ask questions. If you have any concerns or your horse shows any of these symptoms, immediately call your veterinarian, because the supportive care as soon as possible is going to certainly extend the chances of the horse making a very quick recovery. Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital, 352-237-6151. I'm here with Dr. Adam Kayott, Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.
This show is presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital, one of the top equine hospitals in the USA with services including ambulatory, surgery, sports medicine, reproduction, and with doctors on call 24 hours a day. Check them out now at petersonsmith.com. The opinions of the hosts and guests on the Horse Talk Show are not necessarily that of Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital. This show is brought to you in part by Summit Joint Performance, promoting a healthy, thick synovial fluid, decreasing inflammation in the joints and improving the cushioning properties of the cartilage pads. All age horses can benefit from Summit Joint Performance. Our Facebook broadcast sponsor is Lawson Farms. The Lawson Farms mission is simple: to be the leader in quality and value. Richard, owner of Lawson Farms, is committed to a positive attitude, integrity, dedication, quality, and teamwork. Lawson Farms is committed to being your supplier of Idaho's finest alfalfa, a complete line of mixed and grass hay. Lawson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. This show is brought to you in part by Horseboxes USA, the newest and most advanced way to safely transport your horses in style. Horseboxes USA comes standard with a backup camera, horse cabin camera, and dual fans. Visit them at JJ Tack Shop on Highway 40 in Ocala or online at horseboxesusa.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson & Smith Equine Hospital. Thank you to Lawson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton in the studio with guest co-host Mary Phelps. I told her she can come back every week. She is from horsesdaily.com, which is the oldest equestrian website. It's 24 years old in January, and absolutely
Amazing.
Incredible go-to for great horse news. Keeps you completely up to date. Not sure how she juggles all of that with working for Markel Insurance and also being a top driver, a top equestrian with these incredible ponies of hers and keeping up with the husband, farm, dogs, and everything else. She's amazing. She amazes me. Mary, it's lovely to have you with us.
Great to be back.
I mentioned before we start talking more about Mary and her ponies, very upsetting, devastating, and terrible happening this past week at a farm located near 326 and I-75. Mr. Miller, our prayers and thoughts go out to you. Very sadly, his horse Bam was taken and butchered at the farm, and the people cut through the fence and actually took his horse and killed it on site. I think that has got to be, other than your own two-legged family, has to be one of the most devastating things to find at your farm, and I pray none of us ever have that experience. Every night when I go to bed and I feel concerned about going to sleep, I think about the people who've experienced this, and I think it's just the most horrendous thing. And obviously we know that, you know, the horses are used by the methods they used, are sold for meat to be eaten in places where they eat horses, and I almost can't wrap my mind around anybody capable of doing such a thing to any living creature, but sadly it is happening, and I hope this is not the beginning of a new rash of this in this area. It has happened all over Florida. South Florida has suffered terribly with it for a very long time. Very recently another one happened in South Florida, a similar situation, and actually apparently the dog must have ran after the people and they found the dog, but sadly the horse had the same demise. So we want you to be aware of it. We hate talking about these things on the show. We like talking about nice things and happy things and good times, and we wish that's what we could share with you all the time, but the reality is we do have to share with you when these things happen, because we want very much to raise awareness, and we also want to figure out what the heck we do to stop it. And as you know, we have a fantastic sheriff's department in Marion County. We're very fortunate to have Deputy Ogletree with his signs on farms, and if you do not have a sign, inundate him with requests for signs. You can go to the Sheriff's Department website, and he is our ag deputy, and he will actually come out and bring signs out for your property. If you have a very large property, he'll bring more than one, and that is the watch system. It doesn't just apply to this situation, it applies to a tree falling on your fence while you're at work. and people don't know who to call, and they're afraid the horses might get out. And so the Sheriff's Department has a number assigned to you that then is assigned to your contact information, so they can get a hold of you right away and let you know that something happened, or if they see someone suspicious wandering around your property, they can also call the Sheriff's Department, and the Sheriff's Department knows immediately who to call, making the whole process faster. So the signs are really, really important. That's not necessarily going to solve all of our problems, and we've certainly got to figure out ways that we can counteract this, how we can figure out how to stop it. I don't have all the answers. I'm definitely open to suggestions. You can comment or you can message us. We'd love to hear from you, but it's very sad, and we just want everybody to be eyes wide open, checking regularly. You know, go back out and check on your horses before you go to bed. If you wake up in the middle of the night, go out and take a look out the window. Just make sure, if you hear dogs barking, that is a really big kind of a wake-up call. If you hear dogs barking in the night, there's usually a reason why. It's worth checking. So just some tips that I have personally, and Mary, just sad.
It is, and it has been, we kind of thought it stopped for a while, but to hear about it again and to have it be on 326, close to I-75, and now they're cutting through the fences, is just phenomenal. One thing that I mean, it's certainly not foolproof, but it's not expensive to do if you can't get a full security system, but game cameras can help.
I have two.
Yeah.
I love them. They're fantastic. They're solar powered, so they don't go off for any reason.
Right.
And I have them up too high that someone can knock them off or cover them.
Yeah.
And putting those, you know, out and about. And I don't know who your electric company is, but I've got Duke coming out to put another light up further down my driveway. So you can actually pay, I think it's $9 a month with Duke Energy, but you can actually pay to have a light put on a pole, or maybe two. So if you want to light up your area so it's not as easy to sneak in and out. Another thing somebody mentioned to me that's a great idea is a sensor on your gate, so that if somebody actually drives through your gateway, you get a little ding or ping in the house or on your phone that tells you somebody drove in your driveway. Now I have the Reolink cameras, they were $100 a piece, and I can log into Reolink right now and see who's in my driveway real time, which is fantastic. And I can also see who goes down my driveway, and then I have one pointing at my paddock, pointing at my horses, and they have night vision on them. So I can actually, if I'm lying in bed and don't feel like getting up at that moment, but I feel like I want to check, I can click my Reolink and I can actually see in the dark who's in my driveway and who's in my field. So that's really a nice service, and you don't pay monthly for Reolink. It's just comes with the camera, and that's it. So you can also record it on SD card. So if you want to get home and look back, something funny happened, you can actually go back and look. So those are just some things that, you know, I personally try because I'm gone a lot and worry about my older horses. But, you know, it's just something to be aware of. And if you're closer to the interstate, I think you've got to be even more proactive in watching, because the interstate's obviously the fast way back out to whatever port they're going to, or however they're getting the stuff out, you know. And so
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's it's heartbreaking, and of course our hearts break for anybody that this happens to, but we really want people to, you know, to really be aware of it and be really watching every possible thing that looks suspicious. If anybody is wandering around your property that you don't recognize or driving around, that's someone who's tagged, you should be taking down. Take photographs, report it, and so let's see if we can maybe find out how this is happening. So very sad.
Yes.
Let's talk about ponies and driving, because that makes me smile. You've got amazing ponies. We had an incredible event for the CEP this month. It was one of my absolute favorite of all the equine meetings that we've had, presented by Piranha at the farm in Micanopy. And I think I counted the check-in sheet, and we had 68 people, which was wonderful. All outdoors, most people wearing masks if they weren't speaking or eating. And we were outdoors, socially distanced. It was absolutely incredible, beautiful venue. The ponies were amazing. If you're watching on Facebook, we're going to show you videos and photos. and talk a bunch about the ponies and how amazing
There
they are indeed. Just incredible. And this summer with the virus, you were able to do the 4. And prior, you were just the 2, right?
And driving them now is Thorsten Zarembowitz. He is my trainer here in the U.S. He just moved to Marion County. He and his wife bought a lovely farm close to the Florida Horse Park. And he's been an individual gold medal winner in combined driving from Germany. So because we were all stuck on the farm, Thorsten wasn't able to travel. We didn't travel this summer as we had planned. So we've been training and training and training. And so many of my horse friends have all said the same thing. It's been a new, sort of a new dimension.
Hold that thought, Mary, on
Sure.
new dimension. Gigi just gave me the, we've got to go to break. So we're going to come back. Jason Reynolds from the Florida Horse Park is going to join us. We're going to talk more about the ponies, share more with you about that event and about what they're learning this summer. Stay with us. This is the end of the first half of the Horse Talk Show, so you're going to see a palm opener, I hope. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay with us.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
At All In Removal, we offer the best service and highest quality products. Whether you need fine shavings, large flake, a custom blend, or even bag shavings, we have the bedding and removal services you need. We use only reliable late model trucks, and our team of drivers are courteous, respectful, and hardworking. We train our staff to the high standards we are famous for, and our customer service team prides themselves on being experts on our products and an advocate for our customers, helping them to maximize the value they receive. If quality and service matter, give us a try today.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented this hour by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy store. Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab, you're switched on, you're a bit of all right. Yes.
Back on the second half of the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and Meadow too, by the way. I'm Louisa Martin in the studio with my guest co-host Mary Phelps from horsesdaily.com, Markel insurance rep and top equestrian driver. These are her ponies. And also joining us, we have special guest in the studio, Jason Reynolds, with us this week from the Florida Horse Park. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you here, a holiday week. And we've got lots to give thanks for, and I give thanks very much for having friends like these two, because they're such wonderful representatives of great venue and great sports. Mary's going to carry on where we left off and just finish up about telling us about the ponies we were enjoying on Facebook. The video.
Basically, just saying that having the opportunity to train without having a horse show coming up the next weekend has been a great opportunity. And we had so much fun hosting the CEP at our farm. It gave us the opportunity to get it all cleaned up and and ready for the season, and I'd like to do it every November. It's a perfect time for us.
I say it's an annual event. I'm all in. I
Yeah.
think it's amazing. I think the experience that people had, and we had such a variety of people. We had World Equestrian Center, we had HITS, we had USEF, we had some
Yeah.
business people from town that don't get out onto farms all the time. We had a photographer who, by the way, I'm buying the photographs, they're beautiful. And just amazing, fantastic
That's
experience.
my husband on the back, and Thorsten Sarenbaus, my trainer. And we brought all the ponies out first as pairs. The first two are the Briar Boys. That's Bugsy Maloney and Tony DePony. And the back is Al Capone on the right and Kimba on the left. And those two ponies won the gold medal in the cones at the FEI Pony Driving World Championships that we competed in. There they are. Yeah, and we were in Kizbir, Hungary. So we were training in Europe for the summer last year, and the smallest ponies in the whole competition. It was really amazing. But Jason and I have been spending a lot of time together. I was put on the board of the Florida Horse Park, and Jason, we've been really hit the ground running, haven't we?
Oh, Mary doesn't play.
I know she doesn't.
I'm
She's dead serious.
Just trying to stay up. My goodness.
I know, right?
Yeah,
It's quite something, isn't it?
A handful, but
She's amazing.
my goodness. Yeah.
There's nothing she can't do, get into, get accomplished. And she does it all with a beautiful smile on her face.
Well, I've known about the Florida Horse Park. How many years, Jason, has it been?
Oh, my goodness. Created in 1996.
Yes.
So
long time.
It's been a very long time. So
from the very beginning. And so what we're watching, this is us doing the cones recently in Melrose, Florida, which is not that far north of us. In combined driving in Florida now, we have the unique opportunity of having so many venues that we can get out and about. I don't think there's any other place in the country that is like this area of Florida.
No.
So
And I think a lot of places are preparing for like ice and snow.
Oh, yeah.
We're not.
And we've been doing all these small events, and that's why we're really excited about what's about to happen at the Florida Horse Park. It's always had a great driving venue, and we have Mark Johnson, who's an FEI course designer and builder. He's done Tryon and many of the major competitions. And Mark was out with us and Geir Kodstad last week, and we went over the course, and his vision was incredible.
phenomenal.
Yeah, he, not only does he look at the course designs, but he also sees, like here, where we can have a cones course, where the footing will be even. And the Florida Horse Park has sometimes 2 or 3 events running concurrently. So we can, and it has the room to handle it. So there's a polo going on, there's Western shows going on, there's eventing. And so Mark works very, very closely with the eventing course designers. And
Fantastic.
Jason, you can tell us a little bit about
Tell us a little more
the
about the
growth
horse
of
park.
the eventing and everything that's going on now.
Oh, absolutely. And like Mary said, we have 500 acres, created in 1996, and like everything else, has had its ups and downs. I think we've got a really good team out there right now that cares about the park and very, very passionate. And our goal is just to improve on the park every single year, to make it a super safe environment and just to improve every year. And we've done that with the eventing. Last October, we ran our first advanced course. A lot of the eventers were asking for that, so they didn't have to travel. We've got Mary, luckily the Commissioner of Agriculture appointed Mary to the board, and it's just phenomenal because her driving experience is off the charts.
Off the charts, yeah, no doubt.
So we're lucky to have her, and when I say she hit the ground running, I mean she hit the ground running. I'm lagging behind, just saying, please slow up, Mary.
He's very good at answering texts.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, great picture.
This was many years ago, I mean, this was my very first pair of ponies.
Really?
The hooligans, yeah.
The hooligans.
Buddy and Dusty, yeah. And so it was, I think that was in 2012 or
Really?
2011 when I first started competing pair. And so the Florida Horse Park has been I've known of it ever since it got started. So to be asked to join the team was a real honor, you know, and to have Jason, you've been now with the Florida Horse Park for 2 years, right?
About 2.5 now.
2.5
years.
Has it been that already?
Isn't that crazy? Yes.
Yeah. And there's other venues going on, I mean, other events as well, not just horse events, right?
Oh, absolutely. We just had a Civil War reenactment. We just had
I thought you were going to say we just had a civil war. I'm like, how did I miss that?
No. I don't want to talk politics here, but no, but we did have a Civil War reenactment, and we just had the Mopar car show.
Really?
Yeah, we
There's
have
pictures of now we're looking at.
That's actually the advanced, one of the advanced course jumps. It looks like.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Gosh.
It's
one
amazing.
of two waters. There are two water obstacles, and Mark's very and the footing.
The footing is incredible. Everybody tells me the same thing.
Yep.
They say, wow, the footing. Oh, you can get your plate too, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I know.
No, that's huge. That directly supports the horse park, so please get your plate.
Yes.
That's about 80,000 square feet of covered arena.
That's amazing right there.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We've watched the Clydesdale show in there, and oh my goodness.
And that's coming up in
When you
February.
can get horses that big in
absolutely.
the arena comfortably, that's a big one.
Absolutely, and that's Karen and Shannon Cobb with the
Yeah.
Grandview Invitational, and they're
Right.
coming up in February, so that's an amazing event to come look at those Clydesdales.
Yeah, everybody goes crazy over Clydesdales. I always say that everybody
yeah.
goes crazy over Clydesdales.
Well, we're lucky enough we have the Budweiser Clydesdale stop in and stay used to be several times a year. With COVID, it's kind of changed it a little bit, but yeah, we're super lucky to have all the events we have, and literally something every single weekend. I brought my cheat sheets, but it's usually 3 events a weekend. Usually something,
That's
3 events a
amazing.
weekend.
How do you keep up with all that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I just have a good team out there.
That's
that
fantastic,
do a
though,
great
that
job.
people can come out and see so many different disciplines and really all in one spot. Yeah.
Easily, just flowing from one area to the other. It's really.
And that's what we try to do. It's kind of neat to see, a dressage rider go watch, a cow, watch them work the cows and everything. It's really neat to watch that.
Polo match.
And polo's almost every Sunday. So
That's incredible. We have to go take our break. These are the fastest segments I've ever done on the show, so I'm just saying. But we will be back with Jason and Mary in just a few minutes. Stay with us on the Horse Talk Show.
The Equine Performance Centre Ocala, with numerous success stories and featuring the most advanced equine conditioning and rehab equipment available in the world today, is striving to be the best in the nation. Find them on the web at epcrehab.com and like them on Facebook now. Happy, healthy horses live in fly-free barns. Don't allow annoying flies and mosquitoes to cause disease and health issues getting between you and your horse's happiness and health. Get your fly misting system now from Acres Pest Control. With over 20 years of pest control experience, family owned, licensed and insured. Get your free inspection with Acres, the best for your acres. Check them out now at acrespestcontrol.com. That's AKERS pestcontrol.com.
This show is brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com. This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton. Special guests in the studio this week. I have Jason Reynolds from the Florida Horse Park and also Mary Phelps from Markel, also horsesdaily.com, and she is a top driver. Joining us now, I have Susan Spivey O'Neill, and I actually met her via Katie Wentz, who messaged me and said that there had been a rescue of some horses this past week, and it was quite a number of horses, and she sent me the information for Susan to talk to her a little bit about what we can do to help. Susan, you're with Southern Redhead Rescue, is that right? Did I get the name
Southern
right?
Redhead Farms. Southern Redhead Farms Rescue.
Wonderful. Okay, so I had actually never heard about you before, but I'm always delighted to meet people that are trying to help horses. Tell us a little bit about what happened and how many horses you've just rescued.
Correct. So I've received a phone call yesterday. These horses were seen by a couple of passerbys that they had been watching them for a while. This is a thoroughbred quarter horse, maybe some appendix type of farm where she was breeding. They had noticed that the horses were starting to look in very poor shape. They had attempted to talk with the owner, and she had stated that she had lost a lot of her funding and was trying her best to feed these horses, but wasn't doing a very good job of it. She had agreed to allow us to come onto the property and assess the horses. We showed up there this morning. We went last night. Were able to get 2 4-year-old stallions on the trailer, both of them with body scores between 1 and 2. And they went out to Yvonne at Horses Without Humans. We came back this morning. She allowed us to get access to these horses again. We are talking to her of surrendering these horses before the sheriff's office was involved. The sheriff's office had already been there on Monday of this week. Today we got her to surrender 25 horses. 17 of those horses have went to Horses Without Humans with Yvonne, and then I have 6 that have come to Southern Redhead Farms Rescue. Some of them are 3-year-olds. I have an older stallion that's trying to colic on us right now, and I've got a couple of older geldings that she had out there as well. This is going to leave, of the 56 horses, still about 31 horses that are on the property. So I am still negotiating with her to go in there and rescue as many more of them as we can. And to get off right now, I'm looking at some weanlings that are in there that are probably around 4 to 6 months old, and then a couple of mares that's there as well that we just could not get her to surrender today. What we're hoping is, as she understands that we're there to help, and with no judgment, and the horses can get the feed and help that they need, that she'll be willing to surrender the rest of them.
Oh my goodness. And how do you persuade somebody in this situation to, I'm assuming that you make friends with them, obviously, and as you said, no judgment. She was trying, and some funding, she lost some funding, which of course has been something that's happened to a lot of people this year. It's been a very difficult year, so we certainly take that into consideration. But it must be a very difficult position for you to be in. First of all, it must be heartbreaking to be a horse lover and see that, but also it must be very difficult for you to, to try to work through this. How do you do that?
I'm a physician by training, and I practice within the VA system. So somebody said I must have a very honest face. So it was really trying to gain her trust. I gained her trust last night when we went there, and then was able to work through, really, once she starts to talk about the horses, she did know them, she could tell stories about them. It was to say, we really need, this horse to come here, or to go to Horses Without Humans. This horse needs a special care, and I know you love them. And part of that love is going to be letting them come someplace else so they can be taken care of properly. And she was willing to do that. I think part of the reason that she connected with me is I have 2 adopted children, and as I told her about what we do with the rescue, and if once they are back into tip-top shape, then if we do adopt them out, that I monitor these adoptions very closely, because every horse that comes onto the property and into the rescue is loved like they are my own personal horse, and therefore I would not let these horses go to somebody that I didn't trust. So I was able to kind of break down some of the barriers that she had, and then had her start to give them up. So it's really a lot of conversation, a lot of gaining her trust and understanding maybe her situation, and like I said, be of no judgment there. It's really difficult not to get angry sometime, but getting angry then shuts down this owner, and then we would not get access to these horses.
Absolutely. And I personally know Yvonne Barteau from Horses Without Humans and have been out to her rescue, and she is a wonderful human being and does an incredible job. It sounds like you're doing the same, which is wonderful. What can we and our viewers do to help?
The biggest thing that we have right now is that most of these horses have body scores of 1 and 2, and Yvonne's taken 17 of them. Yvonne has taken 17 of them right now. So it is, trying to get them back, vet check. None of these horses had vaccinations. They have not had a farrier see them. They have not had their teeth done. And so when you start to add up the cost of each one horse, I mean, we're looking at thousands of dollars just to rehab these horses back to their original shape. So right now, feed, alfalfa pellets or cubes, feed pulp, farrier services, vaccinations, those are the types of things that we need to try to get these horses back on the right path.
Very good. And southernredheadfarmsrescue.org is the website to reach out to Susan. Susan, if you also would like to give your phone number on air, you're welcome to do so for people to reach out.
Yes. The telephone number for me is area code 352-222-5643.
222-5643, and that is area code 352. You can also go and check her out, as I said, southernredheadfarmsrescue.org. Susan, we wish you all the best. The Horse Talk Show will be making a donation to help, and we'll reach out to some of our sponsors and see who else can assist. We wish you all the best. We thank you for your dedication. It's wonderful that people like you and Yvonne are out there doing incredible things to save these horses. There certainly are a lot of people in dire situations at the moment, so we thank you wholeheartedly.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And we've also opened a hay bank at the rescue for people. I live in Levy County, and Levy County has been hit financially very difficult by the pandemic. We do have a hay and grain bank at the Southern Redhead Farms Rescue. If anyone wants to donate to that as well, we are supplying people in the community with hay and feed so they can feed their horses that have lost their jobs.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow, well done. You're going to make me tear up. We better go to break. Susan, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Gosh, she's going to make me cry. We're going to be back with the last segment of the show. We're going to wrap it up and talk some more with Jason and Mary. We've got a few more photos and videos to share with you also if you're watching on Facebook. We'll be back in just a few minutes on the Horse Talk Show.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs, EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com. Acres Pest Control offers a variety of professional pest control services for farm owners, residential and commercial customers. Control pests, fire ants, mosquitoes, rodents and more. Also offering fly misting systems with speedy response, friendly service and effective pest control techniques. No contracts and affordable, effective pest control. Acres, AKERS, is the best for your acres. Check them out now at acrespestcontrol.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com. This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Experience the difference in buying. Palm makes it simple with no pressure, the best sales staff, and lots of inventory. Experience the difference at Palm Chevy in Ocala or online at palmchevrolet.com. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. We're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment of the Horse Talk Show, I'm really glad that we have breaks so I can wipe my eyes between segments. This final segment is presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms, our broadcast sponsor, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Louisa Barton. I have Jason Reynolds from the Florida Horse Park and Mary Phelps from HorsesDaily.com, Markel Insurance, and she's a top driver of these brill little ponies, which, by the way, are Shetland, hard to imagine. I actually had a meeting with a gentleman from OBS yesterday. I was talking about Mary, and I said, my Shetlands never looked like that. And I showed him a photograph, and he said, neither did mine. Mine were fat, chubby, and naughty. This, to me, is amazing, incredible. And you can go online and order one of these. I got like the first one of 2020, which, by the way, was like one of the best things that happened to me in 2020. And actually, she made me cry, and I got her to sign it. And, I think it's amazing. But we were talking about the ponies, and if you're joining us, if you haven't already liked us on Facebook and you listen on the radio, that's fantastic. But please like us on Facebook and follow us on our different social media outlets, Twitter, Instagram, and we're also on YouTube at the Horse Talk Show TV. So you can subscribe and see lots of videos from all sorts of events and things that we've taken, and interviews and things like that. So please do that. But if you're listening on the radio and you want to go back to the Horse Talk Show on Facebook, and you can actually roll back to Wednesday nights and watch as many shows as you want with our guests. So if you're listening and you want to roll back and watch, we're going to share some more videos and photos now. We were talking about the horse park and the ponies and developing the horse park into this incredible driving course and designing all of that, so it's just absolutely like everything else at the horse park, primo, right? So is there a date that will be finished?
Well, we've just started with the timeline, but the course is there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's already there, and when Mark Johnson came out, his vision as to how we can have the traffic flow and how we can recycle a lot of the already existing materials there gave a whole new dimension.
Right.
You know, to what I thought he was going to do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
so
I love that.
those shoes are encrusted in Swarovski crystals. There's a girl there that in Holland that makes all the headbands for the Chardon horses, and she said, oh, and I do horseshoes too. And I thought that'd be something cool to memorialize a horse.
No kidding.
You know, and so they're really pretty, but
I think that's gorgeous.
Yeah. So, you know, my whole life I was a photographer and journalist and started the website in 1997, and it wasn't until I was 55 years old that I actually got my first two ponies, which you saw in the photo in front of the Florida Horse Park.
Right.
And
that's amazing to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, you know, I couldn't, I said, well, I want to do this. And and I always loved driving. But I've been very much involved with dressage as a photographer and journalist throughout my whole career. And in fact, at the Florida Horse Park, they hosted the Region 3 dressage finals, and there were over 400 entries.
Yeah, no, it was a big show.
It was a really
very,
big show.
very good show.
It's amazing, Jason.
No, that was very nice.
And it was one of the few shows that was able to successfully take off. And I think in Florida we're in a lot of sunshine, we're getting a lot of vitamin D, the Florida Horse Park is open, the stabling is open, nothing is closed in there. So there I am with my husband.
I love that
I was
picture.
talking, so I didn't have the mask on.
I love it.
But yeah, and Wayne, of course, his.
I call him priceless ballast on the back.
Yeah.
Because that's what he told me when I first met him. He goes, "Hi, I'm Wayne. Nice to meet you. I'm the ballast on the back."
I think he actually said, "I'm the beef on the back." But, yeah. And there they are flying around. So
I love this photo.
Yeah, so it really, it's a great sport. You can share it with people. I mean, people can ride with you. I have to get you on the carriage.
Oh my goodness. I would love to, actually.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Jason, that would be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
There we are, Larson Farms. Yeah, so it was just a great pleasure to host this event and now to become a member of the CEP, and we have had quite a couple of weeks, haven't we?
We have
Louisa?
indeed.
We had this event, and then 2 days later, and Jason was there. We were at the Horse Farms Forever Summit, which was incredible.
From business after hours.
At that day, and now tomorrow we have Thanksgiving. And,
I know.
And talking about dentists, today we had started lessons at 8. Our horse dentist came, Dr. Laura Wolf, you know her, and all the ponies had their teeth done today. And then we drove out and looked at another amazing venue at Black Prong that has, it's overwhelming what they've done out there. So we're so blessed. I mean, this area is just, how can you not be here?
I know. And Jason, you've got coming up the Transformation Expo for the Thoroughbreds. And I mean, you've got so many more, but I'm going to mention the ones that I'm really familiar with. Of course, you've got the Grandview Clydesdales. Right. You've got, oh my gosh, you've got so many incredible.
We've got dressage.
Yes.
We have dressage shows at least once a month, hunter jumper shows.
Yeah.
We have Bill Worthington with the air show.
Bill Worthington,
so we'll
that's the one I was about to say, air show jumping.
Yep.
Thank you. Yes, that was on the tip of my tongue.
And
Bill is wonderful.
Absolutely.
Oh, they are wonderful.
They've asked me to bring the ponies and do a demonstration. So I think
it's going to be a good time.
Bill was at your house.
Yeah.
Yes,
yes. I love Bill. Bill is absolutely phenomenal. He's one of the shows we work with.
Yep.
He'll be actually on the show the first week in December.
Good.
To talk about that. So we love, they did such a phenomenal job with that show last year. Such a great job. Bill is such a good guy.
And
so
they're
easy
up
to
in
work with.
entries over 30%.
Yeah.
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 And so that's the beginning of January. Great way to start off the season for the show jumpers.
It's brilliant.
They love it. And I found out about it. I was at Tryon volunteering for a driving event that we went up there, and I met Andrew Neighbors and Alan Neighbors. And we were just all hanging out in the Legends Bar, and the show jumpers were there, and I said, "Oh, I just got on the board at the Florida Horse Park," and he said, "We love the Florida Horse Park."
We all do.
I said, "Really?" He said, "We love it. We love the footing. We love."
Everybody says them. They're blown away by the footing. That's so important.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like probably number one, right?
Absolutely.
That it's easy. You can drive in there. You can find a parking spot, and it's just, there's so much space that you can really move around. So yeah, and that's how I learned about the show. So I said, okay, I'm going to call and find out about it, and now I'm a sponsor.
That's
So,
awesome. I
yeah.
love them. Listen, guys, I think we're about to get the 1 minute sign from the boss here. Gigi Rosado, our producer's in charge, and when she says we have to go, we have to go. I cannot believe how fast this show went. Mary,
We'll
I
do it
want to
again.
thank you and invite you to come back. I said anytime. I want to thank the gangsters for coming. I want to thank Jason Reynolds from the Florida Horse Park. Thank you, Jason, for being with us. We'd love to have you back anytime. Any staff or competitors, anyone that would like to come. flhorsepark.com will give you all of their events upcoming, and there is so many. You could literally be there every weekend and enjoy a horse sport, plus some polo on Sundays as well. So just a phenomenal venue, one of my absolute favorites in this area. We're so blessed to be here. I want to wish you all an extremely happy Thanksgiving weekend. It might be an American holiday, but I'm also almost an American. and I love the gobble gobble holiday too. So I hope you enjoy time with family and friends. Please like us on all the appropriate social media. Please subscribe to the Horse Talk Show TV on YouTube. We're working very hard filling that up with lots of great footage from in and around this area. Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, Florida, the horse capital of the world, or not, happy horsing around and happy Thanksgiving. Until the same time next week.